There were loads of horror films released in 2010, but one of the most famous and infamous would have to go to Blumhouse Productions' Insidious, the same company behind films such as Get Out, Split, and the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's film, and also franchises like Paranormal Activity and The Purge. The original movie was about a family attempting to keep their comatose child safe from ghosts and demons that want to use his body to live once more. The franchise has had 2 successful sequels and a recently released 4th film. And, to celebrate the success of the franchise, and the recently released 4th film, Insidious Chapter 4, we're going over 5 facts about Insidious. If you love Insidious, then you might want to show the Saw series some love. Why's that? Because James Wan was the director of both Saw and Insidious. Wan was very proud of Saw, but recognized one major criticism: the huge amount of gore and violence, which many viewers saw as disgusting and unnecessary. Wan wanted to prove that he could make a movie franchise that could be scary without guts and gore. And Insidious was the result. The movie was given a budget of around $1.5 million, which is a rather small amount for most films of this generation. But this seems to be a running theme in most Blumhouse films, using small budgets with huge payoffs. And this was no exception, as Insidious was able to gross over $97 million. The success of the film also got it 2 awards from the 2011 Fright Night Awards, one for Best Horror Film, and another for Best Supporting Actress. There are a few clever hidden secrets inside the original film that most wouldn't have noticed at first glance. For example, during the scene where Josh Lambert's students are leaving the classroom, you can see 2 names written on the chalkboard. These names are Yesim Osmond and Leslie Botchard. Yesim was actually head of the hair department, and Leslie was the film's hairstylist. During a similar scene, if you look at the chalkboard behind Josh, you can see the name James Wan, who, as mentioned before, was the director of Insidious. About an hour into the film, there's a scene where Josh looks through old photos and discovers his forgotten ability of astral projection. In one of the photos, Josh is seen carrying a dog, and this is actually James's pet. Have you ever heard of another James Wan directed horror film by the name of The Conjuring? Well, while the original Insidious film was in production, James already got the idea for the concept of The Conjuring in his mind. However, this wouldn't be too shocking if you also knew that Wan had been thinking about The Conjuring for over 20 years. But production could never start until 2011, 1 year after the first Insidious film. You may remember the old woman demons seen inside the film, as they were used as a sort of poster boy for the film's marketing. Why poster boy? Well, in the original film, the old lady demon, or Parker Crane, was just that, an old lady ghost, although she was portrayed by a man, more specifically, Philip Friedman. However, in the film's sequel, the crew decided to turn Parker from an old lady to an older man, who not only dresses as a woman, but also castrated himself. And that's a very, freaky image. In the said sequel, Insidious Chapter 2, and the later film, Insidious Chapter 3, Parker Crane was played by Tom Fitzpatrick. James Wan was able to remain director of both Insidious 1 and 2. However, due to scheduling issues that came from working on Furious 7, he was unable to return to direct the 3rd film. Thus, Lee Wannell took his place. Lee has had a decent relationship with Wan. However, he was always more of a writer than a director. But he has worked in other films by James, including Saw, Insidious 1 and 2, and Dead Silence, which is a personal favorite of mine, if I do say so myself. James did make a cameo appearance in the 3rd film as a theater director during Quinn's audition scene. For the 4th film, The Last Key, neither of these directors will be returning. Instead, director Adam Robitel will be taking charge of the film. He has only been a writer as well, but has notably less work than Lee, as the only other films he's worked on were 2014's The Taking of Deborah Logan and 2015's Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. I want to give a quick thank you to Hotel Room 103 for having me on its channel. Dude, it was really great working with you. Thank you so much for having me. Funny enough, I actually hadn't seen the Insidious films until recently, and I'm definitely glad that I did. They are amazing films, and they are well worth your time. So go see them and tell me what you think about them. And while you're at it, go see the 4th film. I know that I will be. So once again, thank you so much for having me. Everybody else, have an awesome night.